Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday, back with another We Play Strong Thursday Night Live. This week we have Erica Cunningham joining us. I'm so excited to have her on with us. She has recently moved over to Blackburn Rovers. She's just joined, so we're going to see how long it takes her to get in and get on to the live with us. Let me see if I can send her a request. Might be a bit easier. I hope everyone's had a lovely Thursday, nearly the weekend. Erica, I've sent you a request. Hey, you got in.
Hi. Did it work?
Yeah, she smashed it. You got in so fast. How's your day been?
It's been really good. Just been relaxing, grocery shopping, things
Day
like
off
that.
today?
What'd you say?
Was it a day off today or was you in earlier training?
No, we have training later, so we have training in the evening.
Ah, what time?
6:30, I believe. Yeah, 6:30.
So
yeah,
you're definitely
7
having
o'clock.
you definitely have enough time to get to training after the live, so we won't get in no trouble, right?
No trouble. It'll be all good.
Okay, wicked. How long does it take you to get to training?
It takes us. Well, we train at 2 different places, but usually it usually takes us like 25 minutes, and the girls like pick us up because I live with a roommate, and we just all go to training together. So it's actually fun.
Are you driving in the UK? Can you drive? I don't know if you can drive or not.
I'm sure I could, but I prefer not to because of the other side. But no, I was going to, but some of the girls have been kind enough to just give me rides, so I think I'm just gonna stick with that.
just being a passenger at the moment until you get the confidence to drive on the other side of the road.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna keep it safe.
How are you adapting to now living in the UK? Obviously, you've lived in quite a few places, haven't you? Maybe you should start by telling us about all the different places that you've actually lived in. I know I'm about to be extremely jealous.
Oh, well, I first started living abroad when I went to Switzerland. And nice. Yeah, so I was in Switzerland, and then I was living in Germany for a little bit. I was out there. And then I was also in Sweden, and then also, well, now the UK. So a couple places. And Italy, I guess also Italy too for a little bit.
Where has been you've only been in England a while, a little bit, but where's been your favorite place to live, would you say?
Well, it's always nice when you can understand the language, to be honest. Because it's always like when I was in Germany, people can understand English, but not always wanting to speak it.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite place so far has been Switzerland because I lived with 15 American girls. So it was like, like so much fun exploring Switzerland with them. And like, we had such great experiences together living and playing. So I think Switzerland, and it's just such a beautiful place. Very expensive, but it was very beautiful.
I thought you was gonna say Switzerland is one of your favorites. I've personally never been, but I know like people who work out there or people that have been out there or traveled out there, and they always say how beautiful it is. And I'm just like, please, can you stop telling me, because I'm very jealous.
Yeah, I'm sure. Have you traveled around the UK like a good amount?
Yes, I have. I'd like to say I get around in the UK as much as possible.
Okay.
I know it got mentioned when you were in Germany. You were there during COVID. Am I incorrect there? Or am I right there?
No, you're right. Yeah. So I went over to Germany for a couple months because I was trying to find a team. So I was going around seeing which team would be the best fit. So I was there right when COVID started, which was such a hard time getting over there, but I eventually did. And that was actually a cool experience being over there too, like traveling around at the same time. And it's just kind of you, there's no crowds, but it was definitely difficult to get over there.
What was it like playing and trying to find a team during COVID? I can't imagine it was the easiest of setups or the easiest times for yourself. How did you have to adapt to that?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard enough to try to get a club to let me come over from America during COVID. So I think that was like, it was a very big challenge just getting that part. And then there was another challenge as far as having an American come play on the team and doing visas. And then I was supposed to get my Irish citizenship, and that took forever because of COVID. So it was definitely like a process, but I still got over there and was able to like see how German soccer is. Well, football, German football.
You
And
can say soccer. You're American. I'll let you say
no,
soccer.
I have to
We'll
like
let
get
you
used.
have it.
Yeah, I have to like get that habit out. I had to start saying football, but yeah, so it was just a great experience, like seeing the different level, because in Germany
Yeah.
it's definitely a different level, and I felt that right when I got there. I was like, this is super good quality.
Yeah, I was gonna say personally, from all the football that I watch, I would say, I don't know if you agree or not, but I'd say the German league is probably one of the like toughest leagues in terms of like how tough the girls are themselves, like their strength, and they're
Yeah,
literally like so powerful, which is great to see. But I think they're just a different caliber out there if you was to compare them across the leagues in women's
yeah.
football.
I remember going to the weight room like the first time I was there, and I was like, for me, I personally think I'm a strong player, like physically, especially coming from America. Like that's something
Yeah,
we work on a lot when you're growing up.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh, I'm strong, I'm confident in this, like this is my thing. And then I'm like, everybody's like this plus like more. So it's like when you go to Germany, I think you find a lot of that kind of like people are physically super strong and really
yeah.
technical. So I agree with you, like the level over there is really high.
You just spoke about obviously growing up in America, playing in America. What I've always known as American soccer, but football over here. What I've always known is that it's very fitness based. So I'm gonna make the assumption here, and please take it as a compliment. I'm gonna make the assumption that you can run for days.
Yeah, that's like a pretty accurate assumption. But I mean, I think with that, it's like we in America a lot, especially in the college system, you grow up having to pass fitness tests.
Yeah.
Like I've been on
Oh,
teams where if you don't pass the fitness test, you don't play, or like everybody has to pass it on the team, or we have to run it again. So I think that's just a different mentality as far as like your physique and
yeah,
your fitness. It's more like a standard that you have to reach, like that they set. And there could be arguments against that too, where some people say, oh, well, we don't even worry about the ball. We just worry about our fitness in America and we just want to be athletes. But I think that it's developing overall. It's starting to catch up more with the technical side than
yeah.
just focusing on fitness.
Would you say that the experiences that you had in America in terms of having to be super fit and the actions and sanction that would be in place if not only yourself but other teammates weren't at that level, do you think that helped you mentally in terms of being a stronger person and being determined and always, let's say, being able to push yourself even further when you may be struggling or you may be at a stage where you think you want to give up?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing too, is that I agree with that it mentally it can help you be uncomfortable and you understand how to push past uncomfortable situations. I 100% agree with that. Like for me, it's given me a lot of that. And
Yeah,
also like sometimes you have games where it comes down to like we can just outrun you at the end and like everyone's super tired, but you can keep going. So
yeah,
sometimes you do have matches like that where that does kick in and that does like overpower maybe if someone's better with their feet, or but it can go vice versa. You know, it depends on the
yeah.
game. But I have been in games where at the end when everyone's tired and you just have like a full tank left, and you know, so there's all kinds of different situations, but I think it has helped a lot mentally.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm gonna jump back a little bit just to being in America and growing up in America. If I'm not mistaken, I had a little look for your Instagram, and as well as playing, you also did some coaching. Was that out in America?
Yeah, in America, well, I would always do like trainings when I got back home.
Yeah,
So when I was in college, I would coach younger girls and do like little camps. But we also did that in college. So yeah, I've done some coaching, and then I also went over to Barcelona with like two of my friends, and we did some camps with FC Barcelona and like in the had them go in a tournament and stuff. So that was a good experience too. Yeah.
how how important is it for you to step into roles like that and to not only enjoy it and aid young females to grow their love of football and develop them skills, but be a role model for them as well?
Yeah, I think for me, it's important to see people doing stuff like especially women, I think it's important to see other women, you know, pushing themselves, trying to put themselves out of their comfort zone, doing stuff like that. So for me, I would never say that like I try to be a role model, but like if I can like inspire someone else around me, then that makes me really happy. And I think that inspiration can come from all kinds. Like I'm inspired by players that are so much younger than me, that are 18 years old, 19 years old. So I think like it's not just about like being older and being this role model, but I think like inspiration can come from all kinds of different ways. And yeah, of course I'm happy if I can do that for someone.
Oh, that's lovely. So we're gonna move on, because obviously, as I've mentioned, you're at Blackburn. You recently signed for them.
Yeah.
How was that when you signed for them, and what was it like coming over and getting the all clear and all okay?
Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to come to England for a long time, to be honest. But it's hard for American players to come and play in the WSL and come and play in England. So for me, it was like such a huge moment because it was something I've been wanting to do. The quality is super high here, and it's just like football is part of the culture. So, I mean, it was super exciting to finally be able to get here, and to sign was just like a very happy feeling to feel like I'm where I want to be now. I'm in the country I want to be too.
How have you adapted to all the different accents that you have to take in and listen to and work your way around?
Yeah, that's actually been a very interesting experience too, because I never realized how many different, I don't even know, would you say dialects?
I'd just say accents, but yeah,
Accents, okay,
dialects could be used too.
accents. Yeah. Some girls, I feel bad because there's some girls I'm like, I'm so sorry, I know you're speaking English, but I don't know what you're saying. So I feel bad sometimes. I have to like get it repeated, but it's been fun to like learn more about all the accents and everything.
What's been your favorite accent to get on board with and listen to, and your easiest to get on board and listen to?
Okay, I might get this wrong, but Scouse, is
Yeah,
that one? Okay.
yeah,
I think that one has been kind of challenging,
yeah.
but I think like people in London speak differently than they would. Yeah, so I've noticed that too. I think people from London are a little bit easier to understand. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for that, but
there are different. No, that's definitely correct. There are different
okay.
parts of London though. So you have like South London, East London, West London, North London, and all the different tones are different. So for myself, so I'm from London. I'm from West London.
Okay.
But you could probably meet someone from a different part of West London who you could argue is a lot more well spoken than I am.
Yeah, so I'm still getting used to it, but it's fun though.
Was it a bit of a shock to the system when you realised that it wasn't all one accent and you had to sort of dial in and out to different sounds?
You know, it's something that I really didn't understand. Like, I really didn't know that much about England before I came here.
Yeah.
But I mean, as soon as I got to the team, I was realizing everybody sounds like a bit different from each other. But again, it's fun to like, people make fun of it and people laugh about it. So yeah.
I'm guessing you coming in as well, being an American, like I know when I meet an American, I just get them to say loads of words that I like and I think sounds cool. I'm gonna say that people have asked you to do the same, or have you not got to that stage yet?
Well, I mean, even last night in the car, I remember my teammate, she's like, I keep saying, oh my God, because I'm around you. And I'm like, do I really, is that like an American thing that we say, oh my God? And one thing that I didn't was, okay, you guys called the back of the car not a trunk. It's called
a boot.
What is it? A booth.
Yeah.
Okay, a boot. And then another thing is cleats. So you guys call them boots, not cleats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just little adjustments. I'm still, learning.
This could be quite a fun game actually, because obviously I noticed that you said the grocery store earlier, which for us is just the shop.
Yeah.
Or the supermarket. Do you call bibs? Is it pennies or pennies?
Yeah, we call them pennies, but we also call them bibs. And
okay,
then
awesome.
you guys, I think you guys also don't use the word scrimmage.
No.
Yeah, scrimmage. We use scrimmage and then like pickup games. Maybe you say that. I'm not sure. Pickup games.
No, what's a pickup? How would you use that in a?
Okay, a pickup game is like if you're going. I'll use it in a sentence. A pickup game is like if you go out and you just play with a bunch of girls and guys, like on a tennis court or something. Like.
Oh. Yeah, no, I definitely don't use that. That was great learning though, but we just call that like, I would just say just going out and having a kickabout with my mates.
A kickabout, yeah.
That's literally what I'd call it. What part of America are you from?
I'm from San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
Have
not been
you
there.
been to San Francisco?
No, but I have been to New York and New Jersey, which is in America. May not be that close, but I've been to America.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm about an hour north of San Francisco, and it's called Petaluma.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I have heard of that. To be fair, my geography of America is, in terms of knowing names, is quite good. Not knowing where they are, I wouldn't be able to like pinpoint it out. I'm not gonna pretend that I'd be able to do that.
Yeah. Anytime no one knows where it is, I just say an hour north of San Francisco, and then I just say by wine country because it's like 20 minutes away from Napa. So a lot of people usually know where that is.
Okay. What was it like growing up as a young girl in America? And for me, when I was growing up, like women's soccer was so big. I would argue it's always been bigger in America. Was that really good for you and enabling you to develop your love and your passion for it? Was there a lot of support around you playing?
There definitely was. I think when I was growing up, the U.S. women's national team was, I think maybe also because we got more coverage. I think in Europe, the women's game wasn't as developed or at least as seen as it was in America. And I remember like being in second grade and they're wanting cleats because like a certain player, Christine Lilly, she was on the women's national team. She had them and I was like dying for these cleats. But I think that we had those images of these women, and I'm not really sure like if you had a similar experience like growing up, or maybe it was more males. But for me, I saw a lot of female role models from the U.S. women's national team that was like idols for me at the time.
Yeah, definitely. I think for myself, I have this conversation quite a lot with my friends and just people in the women's football space. I think it's quite rare because for me, I actually did look up to female footballers. Like if I had to, I also looked up to male footballers or had them on the radar because, as you said, it was more prominent, it was more around. But for me, growing up, like one of the biggest influential players, and she still is for me, even though she's not playing, is a player called Rachel Yankee, who for me is probably one of the best players to ever come out of the women's game. But it's really nice to hear, like when talking to you, you say how you had a lot of female footballers to look up to, because for some people that's quite rare, especially at let's say our age compared to the younger generation now, where the women's game is more so at the forefront and more accessible.
Yeah, I mean, also growing up in America, I was on a traveling team, and I was with the same girls from 9 years old until I was like 17 years old.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and we would just like travel around a lot and play in these tournaments. And for me, it was like very encouraged to play. But the thing about playing football in America too is that a lot of the time you're aiming to get a college scholarship. So like you're on these traveling teams, and it's a big sacrifice for families. It's very expensive and it's a lot of your time. But the aim is to get a college scholarship, and then after college, obviously, then maybe go professional. But I've talked to a few people, that's the difference too, is that in Europe you have the academies that you can get exposure to the professional level. I think in America we don't have those academies as much for women. We have more of like, you plan a traveling team, then you go to college, and then you start seeing a professional level.
Yeah, see, for when I was growing up as well, one of the big options was going out to America to go to college to play soccer, because for me that was when I was in like secondary and college and stuff, like to go out to America was one of like the best things you could do for your footballing career, because of how established and how much respect it had. Like I know I've got quite a few friends who played out in America, and they talk about some of the crowds that they would get in, and that they would have sellouts, and sometimes in the women's league over here, that doesn't even happen. So for that to be happening in the college game is sensational to say the least. Like it's exciting.
Yeah, I think too in college it's, and one thing I noticed too, like in college it's very like team spirit, like do it for the team, do it for each other, like those kind of values. And then once you get to the professional level, it's not like that.
Oh, wow.
It's not like I don't think it's as like team oriented as far as like you know, like how do I say this? It's just different. It's more like I think intense. It's like you're supposed to be very, very selfless, I think, in
a lot more pressure
in some colleges. Yeah. Not to say there's not a team aspect, obviously there is at professional level, but it's just different. It's a different type of energy.
Yeah. And growing up, did you have a fixed team that you supported, or did you have a men's and a women's team? Did you maybe only support like the national teams? What was your teams growing up, and now if they're still the same?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like I always just kind of copied what my brother said. So like whatever he was, you know, supporting FC Barcelona, I was like, oh, I like FC Barcelona too. And so I feel like though for me the women's national team, I've always followed women's soccer more than men's soccer because I like to see like what the standard is for women. Yeah. And also because I play, I want to see like what that level is like for a woman, because it's obviously different for a man. Yeah. So yeah, I've always followed like women's teams more than men's. But if I were to say, I would say FC Barcelona just because I love Spain and obviously a legendary club. So.
And now I'm guessing, obviously being over here, you now support Blackburn, right?
Yeah, no, Blackburn, of course, yeah, of course. But yeah, I mean, Blackburn is such a historic club. It has like a huge history on the men's side, and for the women, I think it's a great team, and I really like the girls a lot. It's a fun group of girls, and it's always like I really do enjoy going to training and learning from everybody. So I'm always like learning, and I'm excited about that.
How important is it for you to be in a environment where, as you've just said, you're happy, the girls are really nice, and you feel like you're in a good place? How important is that for you, not just on the pitch but off the pitch as well?
Yeah, I think for me it makes a bigger difference than I used to think it did. I think especially like coming over to England, it's different when you can understand your teammates. And it sounds like something so simple, but I already like on the pitch, it's different with the communication. And for me, it's made me a lot happier. I feel like I've been the happiest here in England than I have in past experiences. Not to say I haven't had good experiences, but I think I really, really have been enjoying being here. So I'm very excited about it.
That's amazing to hear. It's so good to hear like people are happy where they are and what they're doing. I think in anything you do in life, you should be happy, and you should be in a space where it makes you happy and it makes you feel good. So were there any sort of expectations when you were coming over and gonna go into live in England? Did you think there were certain things you'd be doing a lot? I know maybe Americans think that we drink like a lot of tea. I'm probably living up to that now, but I can confirm it's not actually tea, it's hot chocolate. So still a hot drink, but not the hot drink.
Yeah, I think that like I realized that very quickly. We were going to, what game was it? I forgot which game it was, but we were going to an away game, and it was my first experience with the team, like going to watch them play. And then it's like a lot of the girls are talking about football, and then we get onto the bus and there's football playing on the screen. It's everywhere, you know. And the girls are like making tea and doing that, and I was like, wow, they actually really do drink a lot of tea.
So have you been drinking a lot of tea now? Are you on the tea hype or not yet?
I'm more of a coffee person, but I'm open to tea sometimes. But it really has lived up to expectations because the girls are always drinking tea, like on the bus.
Have they told you about like the different types of tea bags? So obviously you can get like Yorkshire tea, which some people would argue would be like the best type of tea, and you can't drink any other type of tea. Have you experienced that yet? Are you still quite a newbie on the tea scene?
No, I'm for sure. I'm a newbie. I'm trying to learn a little by little, but it's definitely intense.
I'm glad. It's quite funny that we're living up to drinking loads of tea, which is quite entertaining to hear that actually. So outside of football, what do you like to do? Because I like to get to know people beyond just being a football player. So like on a day off, what do you like doing? Like, do you like going to art galleries? Do you like going to museums? Do you just have chill days? What's the off day look like you? What makes you you?
Yeah, so for me, I feel like I do enjoy like studying, which sounds kind of nerdy,
Nice.
but I do enjoy that. And sorry, my roommate is here and she's trying to make me laugh or something.
She can
But
come and say hello if she wants. She's more than welcome to make a little appearance.
she's like, oh, she's shy now.
She's got shy now. Okay.
Um, but no, I mean, I'm very much a person that likes to explore, and I love going to art galleries, like you said, and looking around the town and everything. So I've always been big on trying to take advantage of living in a new place,
Yeah.
seeing new things. And yeah, so for me, I try to explore, but at the same time, I need a rest for football. So like on my off days, I'll do that. And then, I mean, I do enjoy studying and reading as well. I'm trying to get into Netflix, but I just don't even know where to start. So,
So if anyone has any recommendations, just send them your way. What
I need recommendations.
what's your area of education? So you said you like to study. Is there like a specific area, or do you just try and know everything at one time, or?
Yeah, I mean, I did my undergrad already and everything. So now I'm going for my master's.
Nice.
And yeah, I also enjoy studying Chinese. So I'm doing Chinese as well.
As in like to learn how to speak it or write it or just.
Yeah, so I studied it in my undergrad and then I've continued on doing language schools. So I think as a footballer, you do have time off. And like for me, I just try to take advantage of some of the time during the day or whatnot to study and try to learn something new.
That's Nor said you're fluent. Are you fluent in Chinese?
Oh my god.
She also said you're a beast and that your fitness is unreal. She's just been commenting the whole way through. It's really entertaining.
But I wouldn't say I'm fluent, but conversational I am because I've been studying it for a while now.
That's incredible. Honestly, I would love to be able to pick up another language, but I genuinely don't think I'd be able to. I work with a lot of young people as well, and I always say to them, I go into like teacher mode and I'm like, if you can pick up a second language and have a second language, please do not drop it in school and keep doing it, because I think it's one of the most powerful tools you can have as a human being.
No, yeah, I think so too. I remember when I was on a team in Switzerland, in Zurich, and girls on my team would speak like 5 languages casually. But it made sense because of the geography of Switzerland, like Italian, German, Swiss German, and then French. A lot of them knew French. So for them, it was like very casual. And for me, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are the smartest people in the world because you know these languages. But yeah, it's interesting also like being in different countries and seeing the different languages. And yeah.
Someone's asked you to say something in Chinese.
Okay. 你叫什么名字? And then so
incredible.
I said something basic. I just said, what's your name? But
for me, I didn't know that. So for me, you could have said like the most amazing thing in the whole wide world.
Yeah. And it's fun when some people like want to try to speak it and then I can hear them trying to like understand it and say it. But it's always like, it's a fun thing to talk about and stuff.
So say if you go, like, say if you're out on, say for like example in London, there's a place called Chinatown. Would you go, if you was to go to Chinatown, would you like exclusively try and talk Chinese and like to show that you can talk Chinese, but to also keep up your ability to talk the language, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to make sure that they're speaking Mandarin because I don't want to assume someone speaks Chinese if they don't.
Of course. Yes.
But if I hear them speaking it, then I'll say, like, especially if I'm at a restaurant, then I'll order in Chinese and I'll do that. But in San Francisco, there's a lot of it's predominantly like Asian in a lot of areas that speak Mandarin. So for me, I was able to practice a lot in college, and also practice like being on the bus and speaking with the women on the bus that I saw a lot. So I think I got a lot of practice there too.
That's amazing. I'm so impressed that you can talk Chinese and you study it. I think that's like genuinely, I think that's incredible. Like I think you're now like the coolest person I know, just purely based off that.
Oh, that's really nice.
Like,
I can teach you sometime if you want.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's really cool. Like I know, like for example, I've been to Germany a few times. I can't speak the language, but I pride myself on trying to pick up a couple of like sayings or words here and there. I think it's quite a nice way to show people when you're out there, especially when you're in their country, to try and pick up and communicate how they communicate and not always expect them to speak in English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, when I was in Germany, I tried to speak some German, and I wasn't picking up on it very fast. So I kind of gave up quickly, but I should have gave it more of a chance.
Amazing. But as you said, you've got training soon, and I did say I wasn't going to keep you too long, and I definitely don't want you to be late for training, because I don't want it to be under We Play Strong and us getting in trouble. But thank you so much for joining me. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. And please, can you let everyone know where they can find you on social media and how they can follow you and follow your journey?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram. It's just my name, Erica Cunningham, and then _25. And yeah, so my Instagram, and then my Twitter as well, Erica Cunningham. So pretty simple.
Perfect. Nice and precise. But I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Enjoy training. And again, thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
No, thank you so much. This has been fun. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.